Hello and welcome to part 2. I hope that you enjoyed getting your basic introduction to the heart chakra and just knowing a little bit more of what it's all about. In this part of the workshop, we're going to go deep. You'll get some writing prompts that you can use either during the workshop, you can pause the video and do your writing and come on back to it, or at any time you feel called to do the exercises. So the heart chakra can hold a lot of pain and a lot of joy. So we'll be covering both of those. We'll start off with the heavier stuff, talking about why it's important to do the shadow work, why it's important to go there, and we'll transmute that energy and go into that place of joy. If at any time the information that we're going over in this first part is a little too heavy for you, feel free to fast forward. Saying that, I strongly encourage you to try. You know you best and you know your limits. You know what's safe for you and what's not safe, and I completely honor that. One of my favorite tools to use for when I'm starting to feel a little maybe frantic, anxious, overwhelmed, just you can feel those feelings coming and you're not sure if you really want to feel them, but you know that it's safe and that it's important for you to keep going, is tapping. So tapping moves energy through the chakras, through the meridians, and sends up the message to our nervous system that we're safe, that it's okay to calm down. One basic tapping point that you can use for this workshop is right on the karate chop. So right here in the left hand, you'll take these your four fingers, and you'll tap there. And as you're tapping, you'll use affirmations such as, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling anxiety, I deeply love and accept myself. I can keep going. This work is important. I'm ready to dive deep into my heart chakra. And just talk yourself through it. Start with where you're at and talk yourself through it and show yourself some love. And see if that helps get you through those moments. Okay, you guys ready? So like I mentioned, the heart chakra can hold on to a lot of pain. And this pain can create those negative limiting beliefs that we either aren't lovable or we aren't worthy of love or will never be good enough. This is a time to take a moment to do this exercise. What experiences have you had in your life that made you feel unlovable? What experiences have you had that made you feel unworthy or like you'd never be good enough? What experiences were those? Who was there? What happened? Are you still feeling that pain? Is it hard to think of? Whatever comes up, write it all out or talk it out. Create a video just like I'm doing right now and just spill your guts. So now, if you'd like to do this, is a great time to pause the workshop and come on back as soon as you're done. Okay, so how are you doing after that exercise? I know it can bring up a lot of stuff, a lot of old memories, a lot of shit that we really have avoided taking a look at. As you look at those memories and you look at those experiences, how do you feel like they've formed who you are today? Take the pain and be willing to see it differently. This is a major part of the healing process. The heart chakra wants us to take accountability of our lives, wants us to say, okay, we recognize the role that we play in creating our reality. We're ready to create a reality that feels a lot better than this. And so when we choose to tell the same story in a way where we are the victor rather than the victim, true healing can begin. So now go back to those stories, those ones where you were the victim, the fear-based story that you told of feeling unlovable or unworthy or not good enough, and change the story. Because just by participating in this workshop, you have decided that you are lovable, that you are worthy, and that you are good enough. That's why you're doing this, because you've decided that you are and you're ready to feel that way. So go back to those stories now. Where can you make the shift? If you see the shift super clear, write the new story. Write the story from the perspective of feeling super empowered, of learning the lesson and choosing to see love instead. If you're struggling to make the shift, that's okay too. Simply write, I choose to see love instead of this. I am willing to be guided. And see what happens. Open up the doors for the universe to intervene here. Let the universe show you how you are the victor. Let the universe empower you and give you those examples of how you are so lovable and you're absolutely good enough. So again, pause if you need the time to go through this now, or do it whenever works best for you. So loving ourselves is important, and knowing that we're worthy of love and that we are good enough is absolutely monumental to the work that we're doing and to healing and having a really vibrant and strong heart chakra. Also, how we treat others is just as important, that giving and receiving balance. So when have you acted out of your truth? And your truth is unique to you. And the one thing that it has in common with everybody is that only love is real and that you are love. And so when did you act far from love? When have you treated somebody poorly? Treated somebody and maybe caused them pain? These stories can begin to show us parts of our shadow, the dark parts that we don't like to always give focus to, but they're there and we need to know what they are. The more we shed the light on the shadows, the more light there is. Don't be afraid to look at your shadow. Don't be afraid to take accountability for your actions and your words, because again, doing this empowers you. You begin to see how fear was controlling what you were doing. And you can forgive yourself. So take the moment and think about this. Think about what you did that maybe caused another person pain. What side of you did that show? Did it show a side of greed, anger, selfishness? What was there? And sit with that part for a little bit. What is that part of you afraid of? What is that part of you trying to protect? When we get to know that part, we understand ourselves better. When we understand ourselves better, we're able to access our intuitive gifts. We're able to have a quicker comeback time from low vibration experiences. And we're just overall at this higher sense of well-being. So don't be afraid to do this work. Taking a look at your shadow and listening to that part does not make you a bad person. We all have the shadow. Every single spiritual teacher, motivational speaker, self-help guru. They all have a shadow. And taking the time to get to know it, again, can lead you to those aha moments. Knowing what that greedy part of you needs might be a missing piece to your business plan. Might be that, that's where that belief came from. My shadow was holding on to that. So take the time, write it out. Be creative as you get to know your shadow self. So my shadow self, a part of my shadow self, is with the emotion of sadness. And I felt this deep desire in my heart, in the heart chakra, to express this part of myself. And the way I do that is through music and through not necessarily creating music, but listening to it and connecting with it. And so creating playlists is a way that I creatively get in touch with my shadow self and express my shadow self. And I've kept that playlist public. In fact, I'm probably going to share it on this workshop page because it's not a part of me I should be ashamed of. Spending time with that part of my shadow helped me realize my greatest fear. One of my greatest fears was that it wasn't safe to be happy. That if I was happy, people would forget about me. That if people are worried about me, they're thinking about me, and that's important to me. If I hadn't have spent time with that sadness, that shadow, I would have never known that that was there. That fear of being happy, that limiting belief that if I was happy, I'd be forgotten. So spend some time going there. Make your own shadow self playlist and go deep. I'm going to take a second and pause with you here as well. Maybe let's even do a mini meditation. We're going to go deeper in part 3, but let's do a mini meditation right now and declare our willingness to show light to all. So at this time, I invite you to get into a comfortable position if you're not already. Close your eyes and feel yourself connected to wherever you're sitting. Feel the chair, feel the ground or the bed. Take a deep breath in through the nose, holding at the top and exhaling out the mouth. And place your hands over your heart. Breathe into this heart space, breathing in the white light and exhaling white light. We allow our consciousness to fall deep into the heart chakra. We ask that our guides and angels of the highest truth and compassion who could most serve us now to be with us, to protect and to guide us on this journey through the heart. We have set the intention to love ourselves more and deeper. And we know that to do this, we must open up our heart to the shadow. We declare our willingness to examine and love all parts of ourselves. We are ready for the shadow part that has a message for us to come forward now. We ask that the message be delivered for our highest and most loving good, and that we are able to learn and to grow from what is to come. What does the shadow part of you need? How is it trying to protect you? What does it want for you to know? You may wish to stay in this meditative state, to see the guidance that comes through, whether through thoughts or feelings. Or you may wish to pause now and automatic write. Allow yourself to just write from the prompt of welcoming the shadow and hearing what it has to say. Allowing yourself to think and to write freely without worries of grammar or spelling. Just write and see what comes through. Or just stay in this meditative state and see what comes through. If you wish to do either of these things, now is a great time to pause the recording as I will be continuing the workshop. Okay, how are you doing? Again, I know this can open up some pretty heavy stuff, and I promise you that it's all worth it. So we've looked at the shadow, we've welcomed it, we've seen what it has to say, what message that it has. And so now the part comes, well, now what, Chelsea? Now what do I do? I've opened all of this up. What do I do with it? Well, now you see how much you've grown. You see all the obstacles that you have overcome to be where you are today, to be at a point in your life where you are spending time growing, nurturing, and loving yourself. That's huge. Take a second to let that sit in. That you've overcome so much. You are a shining light. You are so divine. You are so loved. So now we're ready to really transmute this pain. We're ready to experience love and passion. And for me, a lot of this comes back to the energy of joy. So what brings you joy? Make a list, as long of a list as you can, of all of the things that bring you joy. That can be experiences, places, people, material items. There's no shame in the things that bring you joy. No such thing as a guilty pleasure in the heart chakra. If it brings you joy, then it's the divine. So take a second now, pause the workshop, and make that list of all the things that make you happy. So much fun, isn't it? That's like my favorite list to make. And to read, I love seeing what other people have for their favorite things that make them happy. So if you're not already a part of my amazing online community, Energy Heaven, join our group. Go to Facebook, search Energy Heaven, find our group, and I promise you, you'll love it. If you're one of the people who's been around for a while, you may be wondering what I mean by Energy Heaven, thinking that the group is wellness and woo-woo. But as of March 6th, I will be changing that group name to something that feels much more authentic and aligned to our mission and our journey together. Okay, so the shadow, joy. Let's talk about being of service, because this is a major part of the energy of the heart chakra, is the energy of service. How do you feel like you're serving the world? If you're not serving in that way, or in the way that you feel like you could serve best, what's holding you back? When's the last time you did a random act of kindness for somebody? Whether somebody you know or a complete stranger. Do one of those things. Come up with a random act of kindness, and I challenge you to do it this week. When we get into the energy of service, amazing things can happen, including manifestation. So a lot of manifestation is really connected in the root chakra. The root chakra is our connection to the physical earth and helps us bring our dreams into reality. But I really love to manifest out of the space of the heart chakra. So when I'm manifesting out of the heart chakra, I'm not just thinking about manifesting material things. I'm thinking about manifesting emotions, feelings, and ways to be of service. I'm manifesting with the intention of being in service, and that can make all the difference. So when you're deciding what you want to manifest, and let's say that's your own job, your own spiritual business maybe, and you're ready to manifest that into being, try manifesting from the heart chakra. And this is how I do that, is I will just really spend some time focusing on the energy of that heart space, dropping down into the heart space as if my sight was coming from my heart, my sound, taste, everything was just happening from the heart space. I get into that energy, and then I go in with the intention of being the highest service in a way that brings the most love and joy. And then I ask for the guidance of how to do that. And so maybe I hear the call of being a spiritual coach or being an energy healer. And I say, all right, I'm ready to bring this into being. And so we feel it. We feel the pride. We feel the love. We feel the service. We see those customers, those clients, that product that is going to change lives. And we feel so excited and so good about it. And then we release it. We surrender it to the universe, and we know that it's on its way. And from there, we follow our inspiration. We take the aligned action. We do those steps that make us feel so good. We create the website. We start the Facebook group or the Instagram feed, and we start connecting, and we start sharing our message and being of service. And when we're in alignment with love and service, we're unstoppable. It's such an amazing experience. So that's such an important part to doing the shadow work, you guys. If we're not doing the shadow work, doing the manifesting is not going to be as easy and as powerful because we don't know all parts of ourselves. And it's so life-changing when we get to that point of awareness. So the last little thing I'm going to leave you in this part is a loving kindness meditation, also known as a metta meditation. This form of meditation is so healing for the heart chakra because we show loving kindness to all. So I invite you now to take a moment and do a loving kindness meditation with me. What we'll do is we'll send a few statements of loving energy. We'll send it to ourselves, to a loved one, to somebody that we're struggling with, and then to the world. Are you ready? Let's meditate. So with your eyes closed, your palms facing upward, take a deep breath in through the nose and out the mouth. In your mind, just repeat these affirmations after me, replacing the generic statements with specific names that you feel called to. And we'll begin with ourselves. May I experience love. May I experience health and happiness. May I feel connected and inspired. May I experience a life of peace and ease. May I have loving kindness. In this next part, we send the energy to a loved one. Invite the image of this loved one in your mind's eye now. And we wish to them, may you have love, may you have health and happiness, may you feel divinely connected and inspired, may you live with peace and ease, may you have loving kindness. Now in our mind's eye, we welcome in the image of someone we are struggling with. And again, we send them the loving energy. May you have love. May you be happy and healthy. May you feel divinely connected and inspired. May you live with peace and ease. May you experience loving kindness. And finally, we send this loving energy to all, to the universe. May all beings have love. May all beings be happy and healthy. May all beings experience divine love and connection. May all beings live with peace and ease. May all beings have loving kindness. And bring your hands to prayer position in front of your heart. And just repeat these statements after me. I am love. I am kindness. I am peace. We are love. We are kindness. We are peace. You can place your palms back on your lap. Begin to wiggle your toes. Gently open your eyes. And come on back to the workshop. Okay, so that was my version of a loving kindness meditation. If you look it up, you'll find tons of different versions. There is a pretty generic structure to the statements that you'll be able to find if you want to find something to just create your own off of. I just kind of went with what I was feeling called to include for this specific workshop. So, okay guys, so in this segment, you learned about how the heart chakra holds a lot of pain and a lot of joy. You went into the shadow and welcomed them in, saw the messages that were there. You thought about all the things that made you joy. You declared your willingness to see love instead. And you showed how important it is to express the loving kindness to all. And so now for the last exercise before part 3, think back to those examples that you gave earlier. Now, instead, I want you to think about examples of times that you felt loved, that you felt good enough, that you felt supported. Think about those memories and write them out. These are the memories that we hold on to, that we keep ingrained into our soul and into our DNA. These are the memories that are true. These are the experiences where we were experiencing truth, that we are love and that we are lovable and so very loving and, of course, very worthy. Thank you so much for participating in part 2. In part 3, you'll get to experience a distant Reiki healing and deep meditation to go into the heart chakra. So I hope that it brings you so much love and healing. If you have any questions or need any support at all, feel free to reach out to me. Again, in the Facebook group, Energy Heaven, or on my Facebook page, Chakra Chelsea.